Welcome to the deep dive. You're here, I'm guessing, because you want to get smart fast.
That's the idea.
We basically wade through all the research, the articles, do our own digging.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Exactly. And pull out the pure knowledge, the stuff that actually matters. It's about getting informed without drowning in information.
And hopefully having a bit of fun.
Hopefully. So today, we're tackling something you've probably bumped into, maybe even thought about trying. Meditation, but perhaps some ideas you've heard have maybe put you off a bit.
Right. And that's what this deep dive is all about.
Yeah.
We're looking at a paper called Common Misconceptions About Meditation, Debunking Myths for Beginners.
Sounds promising.
Our mission, really, is to unpack those common misunderstandings.
Yeah.
To, kill the concept of these myths and show meditation as something, more accessible.
Yeah, because I bet a lot of people listening have been curious, but then thought, I don't know, that's not really for me. Maybe because they think it's only for certain people
Or that you need to achieve some impossible state, like a totally blank mind.
Which, let's be honest, is pretty tough for most of us. So, yeah, let's dig into these ideas, see what's really going on.
Okay, let's do it. First up, this paper tackles a really big one. The belief that meditation is only for spiritual or religious folks.
Yeah, you can see where that comes from, can't you? Images of monks, ancient traditions.
Definitely. Its history is deeply rooted in practices like Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, no question.
That's not the whole story now, is it?
Not at all. What's really fascinating, and what the paper highlights, is how much its use has expanded way beyond those contexts.
Right. You hear about it everywhere now.
Exactly. Think about secular settings, schools using mindfulness, companies offering it for stress reduction.
Even in hospitals and clinical settings, right? For mental health?
Precisely. For managing things like anxiety. It's become a recognized tool for well-being.
Which kind of suggests the core benefit isn't tied to a specific belief system, but something more universal.
You've hit the nail on the head. Yeah. And the research really bears this out. The paper mentions a key study, a systematic review.
Okay, systematic review, that means looking at lots of high-quality studies together, doesn't it, to get a clearer picture?
Exactly right. This one was in a major medical journal, JAMA Internal Medicine, back in 2014. And what it found was pretty compelling.
Which was?
That mindfulness meditation helps reduce both anxiety and depression. And crucially, this wasn't just for people with spiritual beliefs. It worked regardless.
Wow. Okay, that's significant. So the positive effects come from the practice itself, not necessarily the spiritual framework around it.
That's the implication. And it's not just about feelings or mood either.
No. What else?
Well, the paper also points to research showing meditation can boost cognitive functions.
Like focus, memory, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Better attention, sharper memory. There was a study back in 2010 showing these kinds of benefits. It's also a practical tool for, mental performance.
So wrapping up this first myth then, meditation is actually really versatile. It's not confined to one box.
Not at all. Whether you want to reduce stress, focus better, or just, explore your own mind a bit, it's potentially useful, regardless of what you believe or don't believe.
Okay, myth busted. What's next? The posture thing.
Yes. The classic image, right? Sitting bolt upright, legs crossed in some complicated way.
The lotus position. Everyone thinks of that.
And look, that posture is important in some traditions, like Zen. It's meant to help with alertness.
But it's not the only way.
Absolutely not. The paper really stresses this. The core of meditation is your mental state, your focus, not the specific shape your body is in.
That's got to be a relief for a lot of people. I mean, trying to force yourself into an uncomfortable position sounds counterproductive.
Totally counterproductive. If you're fidgeting or in pain, how are you supposed to focus your mind? Comfort and being able to stay reasonably alert, those are the real priorities.
So what are the alternatives if you can't or don't want to do the cross-legged thing?
Oh, loads of options. You can sit perfectly well in a normal chair, feet flat on the floor, back supported. That works great.
Okay.
Some people meditate lying down, though obviously you might risk nodding off.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's still a valid way to practice. And then there's walking meditation.
Walking? How does that work? Meditating while moving?
Yeah. It's a mindfulness technique. John Kabat-Zinn talks about it a lot. You basically bring your full attention to the physical sensations of walking.
Like your feet on the ground.
Exactly. The feeling of movement, your balance, awareness of your body and surroundings as you walk. It's about cultivating that same focused attention, just while moving.
That really broadens the picture. So, bottom line, Don't let the posture myths put you off. Find what's comfortable and allows you to be attentive.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Your body just needs to support your mind's focus. Okay, ready for the next one? This causes a lot of grief for beginners.
Let me guess. The empty your mind thing.
Bingo. The idea that meditation means achieving this state of absolute mental silence. No thoughts allowed.
Yeah, that sounds impossible. And incredibly frustrating if you try and fail, which everyone probably does.
Exactly. Your mind produces thoughts. That's its job. Trying to force it to stop is like trying to stop your heart from beating. It's unrealistic and misses the point of the practice.
So if it's not about stopping thoughts, what is it about?
It's about changing your relationship to your thoughts. That's the key difference.
How so?
Well, in mindfulness meditation especially, the idea is to learn to observe your thoughts as they pop up. Notice them without judgment, without getting swept away by them.
Like just watching them?
Sort of, yeah. You acknowledge the thought is there, and then you gently guide your focus back to your anchor point, often your breath.
Okay, so not fighting the thoughts, but not chasing after them either.
Precisely. John Kabat-Zinn, him again, uses a great analogy. Thoughts are like clouds drifting across the sky.
Ah, I think I've heard that one.
They appear, they float by, they change shape, they eventually disappear. Your job in meditation is just to watch the clouds pass. You don't try to stop them, you don't judge them, you just notice them without getting attached.
That's actually a really helpful image. It takes the pressure off, doesn't it? It's not about failure if you have thoughts, it's just about noticing them.
Exactly. It reframes the whole thing. Meditation isn't about achieving mental emptiness. It's about cultivating a calmer, more detached awareness of your mental activity, building a healthier relationship with your own mind.
Got it. So, myth number 3, the empty mind, also busted. It's about observation, not suppression. Okay, what else stops people?
Time. The feeling that you need hours and hours every day, which most people just don't have.
Yeah, another big one. Life's busy. Finding an extra hour or two for something new, that's a tough sell.
Totally understandable. But here's the good news. The idea that you need these marathon sessions, it's just not true, according to the research highlighted in the paper.
Really? So short sessions actually work?
They can, yes. Even very brief periods can be beneficial.
How brief are we talking?
Well, the paper mentions one study, this was in psychological science, finding that just 5 minutes of mindfulness practice helped improve focus and reduce anxiety.
5 minutes? Seriously? That's nothing. That's less time than scrolling through social media.
Pretty much. And remember that big review we talked about earlier, the meta-analysis?
Yeah, the one covering lots of studies.
That one also confirmed that short sessions can effectively lower stress. You don't need to block out huge chunks of your day.
So it's more about doing it regularly then, consistency over quantity.
Absolutely. That's what the paper emphasizes. Regular short practice is generally way more effective long-term than occasional super long sessions.
That makes so much sense.
Beginners can easily start with 5 or 10 minutes a day. That's manageable, right? Then if you want to, and you have time, you can gradually increase it.
Okay, that completely changes things. It makes it feel achievable, like something you could actually fit into a normal day. Phew. No need to become a monk overnight.
Definitely not. Integrate it in a way that works for you. Okay, one last big misconception to tackle.
What's that?
The idea that meditation is some kind of instant cure-all, a quick fix for everything.
Right. The magic bullet theory. Turn to meditation and poof, all your problems disappear immediately.
Wouldn't that be nice? But realistically, while meditation has tons of benefits, it's not that. The paper makes it clear. Have realistic expectations.
So it helps, but it's not instantaneous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a magic wand. The positive effects like stress reduction, better focus, more resilience, they tend to build up gradually over time with consistent practice.
So it's more about like training your mind over the long haul.
Yeah.
Developing skills.
That's a great way to put it. You're building resilience, learning better coping mechanisms, enhancing focus. But these things develop with steady effort over weeks and months. Usually not after 1 or 2 tries.
That's important to manage expectations, isn't it? Otherwise, people might try it once or twice, not feel instantly transformed, and just give up.
Precisely. It helps to see it as a long-term investment in your well-being, not a quick Band-Aid.
And it's probably not meant to replace other things either. Like, if someone needs therapy, meditation isn't necessarily a substitute.
Good point. The paper positions it as a complementary practice. It works alongside other healthy habits, exercise, good sleep, therapy if needed. It's a powerful tool in the toolkit, but not usually the only tool you need.
Okay, so patience and persistence are key. It's a supportive practice, not an immediate remedy for everything.
Exactly. It's a journey, requires a bit of patience.
Right. So let's just quickly run through those 5 myths we've busted.
Let's.
1, meditation isn't exclusively spiritual or religious. It's got broad secular applications.
Check. 2, no need for pretzel poses. Comfort and alertness are key, and there are lots of posture options.
Check. 3, it's not about emptying your mind, but observing thoughts without judgment.
4, you don't need hours. Short, consistent practice is effective.
Right. And 5, it's not a quick fix, but a gradual practice fostering resilience and well-being over time.
Nailed it. And fundamentally, as the paper suggests, it boils down to a mental exercise. Focusing your attention, relaxing, becoming more aware. Not tied to specific beliefs or rigid rules.
So for anyone listening who might have been held back by these ideas, hopefully this clears things up a bit, makes it seem less daunting.
That's the goal. We really hope it makes the whole idea feel more approachable, more doable.
Yeah, approach it with curiosity, realistic expectations.
And be kind to yourself. Start small. See how it goes. Don't worry about getting it perfect.
And if people want some guidance, where can they look?
Well, the paper mentions John Kabat-Zinn's book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. That's a classic for a reason.
And there are loads of apps now too, right? Like Headspace, Calm.
Yep. Plenty of apps designed specifically for beginners offering guided sessions. Lots of resources out there.
Okay, so we've cleared away some of the common roadblocks.
Which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. Now that maybe some of these misconceptions are out of the way and you have a clearer picture, what aspect of your own well-being, maybe focus or calm or just curiosity, might you feel inspired to explore, perhaps even through a practice like this? Something to think about.